starting with Zooey Mama?
I was going to start with Welcome Back, Mothers, for the last time.
Welcome, mothers.
For the last time.
For the last time ever?
No, for the last time for Diary of a Wimpy Kid Month. Welcome back to our third installment and final installment of this trilogy discussion throughout all of February. I cannot believe we did this.
I love it. I hope you guys are enjoying it because it's been really fun for us to do.
So January was like the return of Doctor Who.
Yeah.
February is the Diary of a Wimpy Kid retrospective month. What's
next?
March? I guess you'll have to just subscribe to find out, guys.
Yeah, get keen. But in the meantime, Dog Days.
Dog Days.
Let's do it.
The third and final Diary of a Wimpy Kid movie.
Yeah.
There's nothing after this.
There's no fourth one.
Except the animated movies that they're doing on Disney right now.
Which, look fine.
Jeff Kinney's said he wants to adapt all of his books into those animated movies. I've heard they're all right.
That's probably better for the series than recasting all it.
Yep.
If they were
to make a fourth movie, that is what they'd have to do.
Yeah. But anyway, this is the only movie I didn't see in the cinema.
So I actually went back through my Facebook this morning. I searched on Facebook. Yes. September 22nd, 2012.
Yeah.
In the cinemas, waiting to see Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
And the
D smiley face.
And Logan too.
Yeah, well, I lived in Logan.
Yeah,
the Hyperdome cinemas were my local cinemas. That's where I saw all of them.
Oh, well, there you go.
But that was the only one I explicitly made a Facebook status about.
Yeah,
because I searched on my account, Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
Hey, I love that.
And that popped up, September 22nd, 2012. So obviously that was for Dog Days, because that came out in August 2012.
Oh, it did too.
It fucking did, I was in grade 10.
Yeah, nice. I was in... 2012, grade 9.
Yeah, so these movies came out to me year 8, 9, 10, my first 3 years of high school.
Yeah, mine was 7, 8, 9, so last year of primary school, and then first 2 years of high school.
Now that would be the first 3 years of high school.
Oh, yeah, it would too.
It would, yeah.
Oh, I don't love that.
But anyway, so Dog Days.
Dog Days. So I only watched this movie kind of recently.
So you'd never seen it before?
No, the first time I saw it was a couple of years ago.
Sure, okay.
Like 1 or 2 years ago, and then I watched it again a few weeks ago. And then yesterday.
Yeah.
Well, last night.
As part of the marathon, yeah.
Yeah, as part of the marathon. And it's good.
It's all right.
It's all right. I think it's the
weakest.
It's definitely the weakest in the trilogy, but that's no way means that it's a bad film. I think it's still pretty good.
I enjoy it. Yeah, it is the weakest by far.
Yeah.
Even though, watching it, I was kind of tossing up if I liked this better than the first one or not. And I think the jury's still out on that. I gave this a 3 on Letterboxd. I gave the first one a 3.5, and I gave Roderick Rules a 4.
That's fair enough.
So it progresses up.
I think the reason why the first one is better is just because it has more iconic moments. I think the story just progresses better. Like the main, relationship and conflict with Greg and Riley's better than whatever happens in this one.
Yeah.
I think it's just overall just like a slightly better film.
I think also the first one's a lot more memorable because of those reasons.
Yeah.
Whereas this one, for some reason in my head, I remembered Holly was in the second movie, but then I'd forgotten that I thought that was the country club stuff in the second movie, and I thought that was Holly. I forgot she was in both.
Yeah.
During the second movie, I was waiting for the gig at Heather Hill's party. I was like, where's the gig? And then I went, oh, that's the third one.
Yeah.
Because then the third one came around, and I was like, that's right, this is the country club one. And then they were going camping, and I'm like, fuck, that's right.
Yeah.
Because I forgot that I remembered them doing that, but then I didn't remember that it was this movie, but it had to have been because it wasn't the other two.
Yeah. So it all kind of blends together
really
eventually.
Just blended. The first and second one, I had a lot of trouble before we sat down to watch them yesterday, differentiating in my head. Now I can do it a lot more clearly, but they were very much just one fucking 3.5 hour movie to me.
Really, it does feel like it, yeah. You can watch these all back to back and it's just it starts muddling up together eventually. Yeah, we did, yeah.
And they did.
But at least, it felt like one cohesive experience to me. We got to the end and that was great.
That was the movie.
You could have put this all together as one 5-hour long movie and it probably would work.
I wouldn't have been mad about it.
Yeah.
But also, so this movie was directed once again by David Bowers, who directed Roderick Rules.
Yeah.
It was written by 2 new people who had never written for the series before.
That tracks.
First movie was written by 4 people.
Yeah.
The second movie was written by 2 of those people.
Yeah.
And then this one was written by Wallace Wolodarski and Maya Forbes.
What are their credits?
Wallace Wolodarski, I don't know if I'm saying that name right. Wallace Wolodarski was one of the writers during the first 4 seasons of The Simpsons.
Really?
So during the golden years.
Really?
What many consider the golden years. He's married to Maya Forbes.
Oh,
so there
you go.
So the first movie was written by 2 couples.
Yeah.
The second movie was written by one of those couples, and then this movie's written by another couple. They're always screenwriting pairs.
I like that.
He also co-wrote with Maya Forbes Monsters vs. Aliens.
The DreamWorks movie?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
And A Dog's Purpose.
Oh, that's sad.
Maya Forbes on her own, I don't think has done anything as like prolific as The Simpsons.
Yeah.
But like has written a lot with Wolodarski.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the music was once again by Edward Shearer, who did the Roderick Rules music.
Yeah.
Different again, obviously, to the first movie. But otherwise, everything else is pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's jump in.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, the writing quality definitely feels a little different.
I don't think it necessarily feels worse.
No, it doesn't feel worse.
A little bit. But it feels different, I agree.
Yeah. It's definitely got a different kind of pacing to the last 2. I think the last 2 feel, like as you said before, like very like episodic, where this one feels a bit more drawn out.
The first one feels episodic. The second one feels like an actual movie.
Yeah.
And this one feels like it's trying to be both of those things at the same time.
It's like a weird in-between, but doesn't like come off as well.
So that was one of the last notes that I wrote. I wrote, this movie feels weirdly more chaotic and disjointed than the first one, because the jumping between like, so like at the country club, and that's like the main focus of the movie.
Yeah.
And then it like strays into the relationship with his dad and the scouts, and then and it's like, oh, they're going to go camping. Then suddenly he's at the pier with Rowley and his family. Then that's the whole whole part of the movie.
Yeah.
And then they're back at the country club, and then they're camping, and then they're back at the country club. Then they're at the party. Like, it just jumps all over the place.
Yeah.
And it feels insane to watch.
It's weird because it's really only juggling 2 storylines, the one with the dad and one with Holly Hills.
Yeah.
And I guess you could say the same like in the first couple of movies, but it doesn't handle it
No,
as
it doesn't.
well.
No.
And that's why I reckon the movie should have been more focused around the dad and Greg.
You know, one other reason that I think this one feels a bit more disjointed is because it is based on 2 books.
Yeah.
And you can really tell. Like, the first one was based on the first book. Roderick Rules was based on the second book.
Yeah.
And this one was based on the next 2 books.
It's like Dog Days and The Last Drawer or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can really fucking tell that this is 2 different books that they've tried to weave together.
And just hasn't worked as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do think the connection between Greg and Frank, between like Greg working at the country club, quote unquote, and how that affects his relationship with his dad, which leads them to go camping. Like, I think that is a nice idea. I just think the execution was a bit garbage.
I think they should have just focused on that more, or worked on that more.
Yeah.
I would have really enjoyed that.
Like, if they cut Holly from the movie, or had her as a smaller role, and the country club stuff wasn't as important once he'd been found out, and then it focused more on the camping, like they were done with the country club, and then it progressed to the camping stuff, that would have been way better.
It should have been more supplementary to that. Like the other stuff was in Roderick Rules.
Exactly.
I think.
Yeah. One thing that's really on Holly.
Yeah.
I had such a fucking crush on Peyton List when I was a kid. She's my age, first of all. She's like 4 months younger than me. So she's like my age. Like, watching this movie and Roderick Rules, I had such a fucking crush on Peyton List, dude.
Yeah.
Like, as a kid, I was like, whoa.
Dude.
I know. Like, it was nuts.
That was your awakening.
A little bit.
Of high school.
A bit, yeah. I was like, damn, she was cute as hell.
Yeah,
but like, it's wild.
Yeah.
I can remember it so vividly, like that feeling of like watching these movies and being like, whoa, like she is my like celebrity crush now. Like,
because he could sort of relate to Greg in a way.
A bit, yeah.
In that sense, yeah.
Yeah, and her and it was her and the other really big one that I remember was Catherine Newton, who ended up being the lead in Detective Pikachu.
Oh, what's she in besides that?
I used to watch her in a show. What was the fuck? It was called Gary Unmarried, and it had I think it was fucking Rob Riggle.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, or it was like one of those guys.
Yeah,
you know, like
one of the guys.
One of those guys.
Yeah.
I think it was Rob Riggle. I can't remember. Might have been like. It wasn't Kevin James. It was someone like in that sphere, though, as the lead character. Guys, yeah. And she was in that, and I remember seeing her in something else. Who was in Bridge to Terabithia?
I know who you took.
Was that...
No.
Who was in Bridge to Terabithia?
Some reason the name Lindsay comes up in my head. But
Lindsay Lohan? No, it wasn't. Well, her name's Leslie in the movie.
Well, yeah, kind of close.
Anna Sophia Robb. Oh my god, that was Josh Hutcherson.
Yeah.
I forgot he was in that.
He can't do the whistle.
Yeah, I'll edit the whistle in.
Yeah, thanks, man.
That's right, I forgot
I'll just do the... Now put the whistle.
That can be the thumbnail.
This is a thumbnail. And like gross armpits. Ugh. Yeah, I don't love that.
Someone does.
Yeah?
Anyway. So, yeah, but like Holly, I liked her inclusion in this movie and the way that they juggled her story, like at the country club.
I liked it, yeah, and there's some good scenes, like when they're playing tennis, which is funny.
The tennis scene was good, and Patty beating the shit out of him with the tennis balls. It was so good.
Good on him. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good revenge. I like that.
I love, though, that, like, Holly had the potential to be, like, like, when she found out that Greg was lying about going to the country club, it had the potential for her to be like, you lied to me?
Yeah.
But instead she was like, why didn't you just call me? She's like, why are you sneaking in? Why didn't you just call me?
A more mature response.
Yeah. And I was very surprised by that.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
It's, the characters overall are a lot more mature in this one. Mm-hmm. Well, I guess a bit more mature. They're still kids, but like when Rowley lies to Greg and Greg like doesn't make a big deal out of it. It's like, it's fine. Like, don't worry about it. But Rowley feels like such a piece of shit for doing it.
Yeah.
Rowley's too kind for this world, man. Holy crap.
I love Rowley so much.
He's so good. Like, he lies once and he's like, oh man, you shouldn't. Why are you hanging out with a guy like me?
Ruined my friendship with you.
Like this, I'm so fucked. It's like, it's a nice little twist on like how Greg has lied to Rowley, but now Rowley's lied to him.
Yeah. It's weird. It's a nice. It's like poetry. It rhymes. It's a mirror image.
It really is.
But
yeah. Fuck.
I think moving through. I just had that note about Holly at the top.
Yeah.
Because like that was the first thing I thought of when we started watching it. But moving through that opening pool sequence gave me so much anxiety.
Oh, being like, there.
Me too. That's why it gave me so much anxiety.
I hate that. I still hate that. It's one of the reasons I don't like going to the beach anymore. It's just always crowded. It's too many people. Going into the bathrooms.
Yeah. Oh no. Those bathrooms are like no fucking good.
No. Filthy.
The beach is just, it feels so crowded now. Like I know of a couple of small beaches that like I go to with friends sometimes that are like, if there's people there, it's like when they go to the country club and this, and Rowley's like, whoa, it's busy today, and there's like 6 people. Like we go to the beach and we're like, fuck, there's like 5 other people here.
Yeah.
Whereas you go to somewhere like King's Beach up the coast, or you go like down the Gold Coast to Surfers or something, you just can't move for the amount of people.
Yeah.
And it's unreal. And like, it's been there, man. Like,
Diary Wimpy Kid is so good at giving me anxiety, reminding me of anxious moments that I've had, and that was one of them.
Fuck yeah. Like, and because also you hear them say like, oh, first day's free. Like, so there's like that like undertone of them like not having a whole lot of money.
Yeah.
Which like you get through the whole trilogy. Like Greg's not from money.
No.
But like Rowley kind of is.
He definitely is.
I mean like
country.
I mean the country club alone. I actually wrote down this movie is white privilege the movie.
It really is.
It truly is. And you know how many people of color are in this movie? 2.
Chirag and...
Oh, okay, on Chirag, of course.
Yeah.
Well, he's not in much of it.
No, you see him fall into, like, the crowd of people when they're leaving school, and that's about it.
Yeah, Chirag doesn't have a prominent role in this movie, but after Chirag makes his exit, there's one other person of colour who is the receptionist at the country club, whose name is Amy. We get her name.
Oh, that's
she
good.
says one line, and then she's never in the movie again. They replace her with a white woman.
Yeah.
And then the second person is a police officer who tackles Rowley's dad to the ground, whose name we don't learn. Yeah. And they each say like one line, and that's all of the people of color in this movie. In fact, I think in the trilogy, other than Chirag.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a few
I don't think there are.
Characters.
In this movie, I was actively looking out for background characters. Country Club, not a single person of color, not a single one.
It's social commentary, dude.
It is, but also they're adding to it by doing this. But like, you've got like the Country Club vibe of like, you know, there's like the white privilege aspect of that, the money as well, and then you've also got like, you know, they go to the boardwalk, but they go and stay in this like beautiful, like their second house or something, or like I don't know what the deal is, if it's like an Airbnb or if it's like their second home or something.
I think for them, it's definitely their second
I
home.
was rolling with it as them, like, as a second house that they own on the waterfront, right near a boulevard. Like,
Rowley's
got some cash, dude.
He's got some cash. You think he'd be like this really stuck up, like, bitch of a character, but he's just so wholesome.
No, but because
like,
his parents are not that.
Yeah.
And so, like, you can have money and not be a prick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and I think the movie shows that, but also...
It's one of its strengths,
I'm sticking up for the white privilege. I'm like, actually, no. The whites are really good in this movie.
It's fine. Don't worry.
Hear me out. The one person of color was as an admin member at the country club, okay? But then she got fired, and she was replaced with a white woman.
Well, you're assuming that she got fired. Maybe she just wasn't working that day.
I know.
You don't.
I know, but we never see her again.
That's true.
We never see her again.
True. She's not in any other scenes.
This movie is really white privilege, the movie. And also I wrote the words Diary of a Wimpy Father because this movie sort of makes Frank like a central character.
Good.
Which, yeah, Steve Zahn deserves it.
He deserves it.
Steve Zahn should have been more of a central character in the last two movies.
Yeah.
They've been building him up.
He had like more in Roderick Rules.
Yeah.
And he had some like kind of crazy moments or hints of being crazy. But this one, they ramped it the fuck up.
I'm just remembering why was General Grant on the thermostat?
They're not toys.
They're figurines.
I get that. I totally get that.
I love that I know him from Daddy Daycare.
I forgot he was in that.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that movie in many movies.
Daddy Daycare. Can we watch Daddy Daycare and make it Steve Zahn month?
Yeah, okay. Let's do it.
I know him from Daddy Daycare, and I also, every time I see him, I think of Stuart Little, because he voices Monty, the alley cat.
He does.
Hey, Snow! Like,
he does. I didn't know that until you told me recently.
Yeah, because Snowbell, who's Nathan Lane, is like,
yes, he
is
is
like,
too.
oh great, it's Monty the Mouth, and he's like, hey, Snow! Like, it's fucking
Nathan
Steve
Lane.
Zahn and Nathan Lane, dude.
What
and Michael J. Fox is Stuart Little, and fucking Hugh Laurie and Gina Davis. What a fucking
Hugh
cast!
Laurie is the dad. Holy crap!
And Gina Davis, and Michael J. Fox is the little fucking orphan rat. Like, it's a hell of a cast.
That's goated.
That's
probably why it's a great movie.
The second one is also really good.
They're good.
They're fucking good movies.
Stuart Little month.
Can we do a Stuart Little month? Dude, we could add this and still make it Steve Zahn month.
I mean, you're right.
He's in them.
You're not wrong.
Oh god, what a fucking film.
Yeah.
What a film series.
Oh my god.
But yeah, in terms of, are there any things that, other than, we've talked about the structure a little bit.
Yeah.
Is there anything with this movie that you explicitly did not like? Or things that you think could have been done better or were done better in previous movies and just like sort of lapsed here a little bit?
Yeah. I think the character development isn't as good. I don't think there's as much build up, especially with Greg and his father. I really wish there was just a bit more with them. I wish that was the central plot, because I think that's a lot more interesting.
It felt like they were trying to make it the central plot, but then every time they cut away to the country club, it's like, that's gone now.
Yeah,
forget about that.
Don't worry about it. We're stuck with Holy Hills now, which is fine.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I know you would be.
Yeah.
But I just wish there was so much more. Steve Zahn's just such a great character and plays the role so well. I just wish there was a lot more. And the emotional beats that happen with him are still great. Like, they're in the house and Susan's talking to him. He's like, your dad didn't like connect with you as much as you wanted him to.
Yeah.
So you should do this with Greg. And he's like, yeah, fuck, I'll do that.
Oh, and the moment, like, when they're driving back from, like, when he picks up Greg from Rowley's parents' place.
Yeah.
And he's like, you know, like, aren't you like gonna yell at me? And he's like, no, I'm just disappointed. And that's like,
no, that's after the fucking, when is it, when he finds out that Greg doesn't have a job?
Oh, I thought, I'm confusing those two moments. But then that also, no, it's after the Rowley's parents' place, because
he picks him up, but he's
because we've had the line previously before that of Rowley's parents being disappointed in him at the fair, at the board.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, but then his dad says the line afterwards, because at that point Greg's like, oh, they just said they're disappointed. And then after that, when he gets picked up from Rowley's parents' place, that's when his dad says, no, I'm disappointed, because it's paralleling Rowley's parents, and Greg feels it.
Oh, for some reason I thought that was after when he doesn't have a job, when he finds out he doesn't have a job. Because when he's leaving the Rowley's house, they have the dog in the back.
Yeah.
And then do something else.
No, they have the dog in the back for that scene.
Oh.
Yeah.
Add it in post if it's right on that. I can't
remember. I'm not fucking rewatching the movie. I don't care. But I remember when he said that he was disappointed, I remember thinking back to Rowley's parents.
Yeah.
So it was definitely after that.
Yeah, no.
And the only time I think of them driving together is after he gets picked up. It could have been from I don't know, but by the camp they made up. I don't know. On the moments between them on the camp as well, when Greg's like, I just can't stop messing things up.
Yeah. And then the dad's like, what does he say? It's like, it's fine to mess up. Like, everyone makes mistakes. Just like own up to it.
Yeah, exactly. And
I like those beats, and those are really good messages that come out of the film. I think it's just not as strong as Greg and Roderick and Greg and Rowley in the previous two films. Like, those films center around those relationships. Yeah. Where this one doesn't as much.
Yeah, because because they're trying to cram two books into this one. They got too like overzealous with it. Like, they should have just done one book. Yeah. They should have either done the country club stuff and built up Holly and Roderick and Heather and all that, or they should have done the camping stuff. Yeah. And they should have done the camping stuff. If they had to pick, they should have stuck to the heart of the movie was Steve Zahn and his relationship with Greg. Yeah. Like, that's what it should have been. Yeah. And it was disappointing that it wasn't that.
Yeah. That's one of my gripes. The other one, it's not... I don't ever call it a gripe, but I think that the fact that, like, Greg and, like, all of them are a little bit older, they've lost, except Roderick, lost a bit of the charm that they had in the first two. Especially maybe Greg. I don't know what it was. They just didn't feel as charming as they were in the first two movies.
You're not as willing to forgive their transgressions because you're like, oh, this is an older kid now, he should know better. Yeah. I think that's sort of what it comes down to for me, at least. Yeah. I'm not, like, as willing to sort of, like, let things slide because I'm like, well, you should know better by this point. Yeah. Whereas, like, in the first movie, I'm like, oh, he's just a fucking kid. He's just a little baby.
Yeah. And it's, like, slightly off-putting. Like, the Greg has the only one who's really gone through puberty, like, especially with his voice.
His voice, man.
Like, it's dropped. And the other two kids, like, there's this one scene with him, Shirag and Rowley, and they're all, like, high-pitched and, like, still sound like kids. And Greg's like, ugh.
Greg's like, India?
Yeah.
But, like, it's
a little off-putting, and I can see why they didn't keep going.
I think the worst part, though, and the reason that was more noticeable is because we've just watched the first two back-to-back. Yeah. And whereas, like, seeing them a year apart in cinemas, I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah. I didn't really notice it, or it didn't really bother me back in the day.
It didn't bother me when I first saw Dog Days either.
Yeah, when I first watched these, and, when Dog Days was over, I was like, man, can't wait for the new one next year. I didn't like...
Imagine.
I was like, just keep it going. He gets older. Just move him up through high school. He's still got, like, 5 years to go before he...
I actually think that would be pretty interesting, but then you got... I mean, you'd be going off the books at that point.
But Jeff Kinney was, like, involved. I know he was involved with at least the first one.
So, I thought he was involved with all of them.
He might be. Yeah. I remember explicitly seeing his name in the credits of the first one. We didn't really watch the credits of the next two. But, like, either way, like, if he was involved or had any hand in it, he could have just, like, adapted his stories, like, to suit a more high school theme. Like, I would have been so down for that.
I would have been so down for that. It wouldn't have been difficult.
Bring Zachary Gordon back right now. Like, make like, a Diary of a Wimpy Adult.
I'd be so down for that.
Journal of a Wimpy Adult. Newspaper.
Newspaper. What's it? A memoir of...
Memoir of a wimpy adult. Dude.
They bring them all back when they're in their 70s.
Make it happen. Bring Steve Zahn back. Bring Rachel Harris back. Devin Bostick. Manny's in middle school now.
They focus the story on Manny instead. It's still Diary of a Wimpy Kid, but it's Manny.
But his older brother is Greg, and he's like... But now Greg is Roderick. We're cooking. We're cooking in here.
Maybe we should write
Memoir of a Wimpy Adult. Title of your sex tape. So I think God, I like went to clear my throat as the joke, but then actually made my throat bad.
Nice. I have one more thing to say. We'll talk about Roderick a bit more. I don't like his hairdo as much in this.
Roderick?
Yeah.
I didn't notice.
No, it's because he has the fringe and his hair's all like down like that for the whole thing, and he looks like Roderick in Long Haul if it was ever made.
I literally didn't even notice. Okay. And we watched something back to back.
Well, it's just like his hair looks more like disheveled and like kind of longer in the second one, but in this one it's all like, I don't know. It's a really small thing.
I literally didn't even notice that.
As a Dev Bostick fan,
As a Devin Bostick stan, the only reason I want to watch... I don't even know who the fuck he is in Oppenheimer. I just know he's in it.
Yeah, it's just a small...
Well, he's not Oppenheimer. I think. I don't know. I haven't seen the movie. I think that's Cillian Murphy, though.
It is.
I know. I fucking no. They didn't cast Devin Bostic as Oppenheimer.
Imagine.
He's Albert Einstein, dude. He's growing his hair out.
No,
for that.
I would watch a movie for that.
Anyway, I fuck it as sidebar on Oppenheimer. I haven't seen it obviously, but I saw like the final scene of Oppenheimer with "What I've Done" by Linkin Park, like fading in. Like it's fucking great.
It's like a Transformers ending.
When he's like, "I think we have," like, and the song comes. It's fucking excellent. And all the comments are like, "Where's Optimus Prime?" Like, Oppenheimer, detonate and roll out. Like, yeah, I'm keen to watch that movie though.
Yeah, I would like to watch it.
We should talk about it when we do.
Yeah, okay.
You didn't fucking see Barbie though, so
yeah, I'll go watch Barbie.
Barbie's really good.
Yeah,
I've
heard
it grossed way more than Oppenheimer did.
I love that.
Yeah,
I love that for Barbie.
So it should have.
Yeah,
Barbie was excellent.
Yeah, nice.
The extended scene at the carnival.
Oh yeah.
I always think that the only reason filmmakers put shit like that in films is so that they can just go and be like, yeah, we have to go film at this carnival over here.
Yeah.
I guess we just have to play games all day.
Oh, no.
It's for the movie, we swear.
Son of a bitch. We have to go have fun and play Dance Dance Revolution.
Oh, shit. Oh, that take was no good, guys. Better do it again.
Better dance again. Rowley, you could do with a new record, buddy.
And so,
keep going.
And also, you know that the cranium shaker, that ride that they did, they obviously actually filmed on that. You can tell because you can see the GoPro camera quality.
The camera quality just drops massively.
But because of the way that the camera would have had to be positioned on that ride, they would have had to do one take without the camera so that you can see them going around, so the camera's on the ground.
Yeah.
One take with the GoPro where you can see both of them, and then one take where it's just Rowley because the camera would be where Greg is sitting.
Yeah.
And one take where it's just Greg because the camera's where Rowley's sitting. So like they had to ride that ride and assume they ride it like twice during that's like 8 times at least.
You don't think they use like multiple GoPros on the one?
No. I don't think they'd be able to. Depending on the way that the camera rig was set up, based on the width of the shot, I don't think and how close the close-up cameras are, I don't think they would have been able to.
You don't think there was a guy like hanging off the ride, just like filming?
He was just fucking he was flying. They're just overlooking that fact though.
You just see the ride going around. This is one guy just hanging off.
Flying, yeah. Fucking, he's got the doctor's gloves on.
The power gloves.
The power gloves, yeah.
Yeah. Brings the ride down.
It was the fucking doctor, dude.
I wouldn't mind that.
That's how you get the momentum.
That's the crossover we needed.
Diary of a Wimpy Doctor.
That's
Matt Smith.
I mean, yeah.
A simpy doctor.
A simpy doctor. Yeah. I get that. Okay. I want to talk about when they're all licking the one ice cream. First of all, that's gross. And the way that the dad licks the ice cream, he like...
I don't like it.
And then puts his mouth on it.
You know what makes it worse?
What?
Is what you told me when we were up getting coffee before.
Yeah, so I was looking at trivia for Dog Days. Not trivia, but yeah, trivia. And apparently that movie was the last movie that the actor of the dad played. He died of brain cancer like a few years ago.
Jesus, you didn't tell me that.
Yeah, so that was his last movie. Imagine, and so now all I'm going to think of is that ice cream licking scene was the last thing he ever did.
Alfred E. Humphreys was his name.
R.I.P.
Wow, he was only 64 when he died.
Oh, that's sad.
Wait, married to Elizabeth Moss?
Huh.
Wait, as in like the Elizabeth Moss? Wait
a minute.
There's no hyperlink on her name though, so probably
it's
not.
like a different one, yeah.
But he died of brain cancer, January 31st, 2018.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, dude. So that means he
R.I.P.
didn't do anything else between 2012 and 2018.
Oh, that's kind of sad.
This movie, he was like, you know what, I'm going out on a high.
Yeah, going out with a bang. And he kind of did. He has a bigger role in this than any of the other movies. He talks in this one.
He does, yeah.
He doesn't talk in the other two.
Wow, well that really... you told me he died after the movie. First of all, didn't know it was 6 years later. Second of all, didn't know it was because of fucking brain cancer.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Sad.
He was only in his 60s.
Yeah. I don't love that.
Fucking hell.
I want to... Just before we go into like the wilderness scene, because I want to talk about that a little bit. I think this movie does a really... the set of movies do a really good job of the use of side characters.
Yeah.
Like Paddy Chirag and... What's the other one? Fregley. They show up in so many scenarios.
They do, yeah.
It's a really cool way to build the Wimperverse.
The Wimpyverse.
Wimpyverse. Because you see them like when they're at the wilderness scene or
Yeah.
at the school or just heaps of other
Patty
things.
doing tennis.
Patty
and,
doing
like,
tennis. Yeah, seeing her in like the pool and stuff. It's like, I don't know. I like that.
I do, yeah. I think that it feels natural. And like, I'm not using the word Wimpyverse, but it feels like they're building out the world.
Yeah.
Like, it feels like they're fleshing it out.
Yeah. And that was like one of my biggest things about the long haul. Sorry, I have to bring it up. None of those characters are in it. Rowley's only in it for like the first minute.
That's nuts to me.
It's crazy. I hated it. I was like, where's my Fregley? Where's Freggers?
Where's Freggers, dude? It's going to crawl in your fucking window while you're sleeping.
Yeah, he's going to give me a big hug.
That's what he's going to do, dude. He's going to give you a little kiss on the mouth. Yeah.
Okay.
But also remember that Fregley will also have to be still controlling him for him to do that. So Fregley will be there too.
Will be doing it.
That's fucking terrifying, dude.
You said it. You said it.
I want to end with the party, like how the movie ends.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So let's go to the wilderness stuff.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
Cool, so the party...
Oh, no, I just liked, at the start of the scene, they're all setting up their tents and all of, like, the fancy boys have, like, really easy tents to put up.
Easy tents.
Which was a good, what's the word? Good foreshadowing to when the, whatever his name... I don't know his name.
I don't care. Colonel Dipshit.
Colonel Dipshit has all the stuff, so they're not really camping.
The thing that kills me every time is the pre-tied knots. Like, still had to fucking do the knots. Like, it's... Pre-tied knots is a fucking funny idea.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Do you think that's a thing?
No. Oh. Because someone still has to tie the knots. You know what I mean? Like, he still had to know how to do it.
Yeah, good stuff.
It's fucking funny though.
It is it was a fun scene. I enjoyed it.
And the way that they like map out the plan of like the spider web that they're making, Shirag gets stuck in it. He's like, I have been ensnared by my own trap or whatever.
You're like, oh, Shirag.
It's fucking funny.
You goofball.
I even said earlier, like, Shirag's only in that first bit when he gets swept away because I keep forgetting about the camping stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, of course Shirag's in the camping stuff, yeah.
Yeah. I just like that moment when Greg like actually stands up for himself and they stand up for the dad and the dad's like, fuck you, Stan, or whatever his name is.
I think it was Stan, yeah.
Yeah.
Stan idiot. I don't know. Stanley idiot.
Yeah. Nice. I mean, that's all I wanted to say. It was good. I think that wilderness team would have been better had they built up Greg and the dad's relationship
but again,
a lot more.
I agree. But I agree with that actually. But the moments between them on the camp were really nice. But again, like the all boys, like, well, I mean, they're all boys, I suppose. But like the elite camping squad, white privilege, man.
It really
like
is.
It's just driving home the white privilege discussion
when they have like that 4th of July party.
Yeah,
oh, boy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
It's just white privilege, the movie. Speaking of Heather Hills.
Yeah.
No one represents that in this movie better than Heather Hills.
Her Sweet 16.
The fucking moment when her mother's giving her, like, her grandmother's, like, beautiful necklace, and she's like, so it's grandmother's, so it's, like, used?
It's been worn.
Ew. And then she, like, closes it, and I'm like, fucking hell, nothing says white privilege like Heather Hills.
Than that, yeah.
But, like, yeah, that party scene is just...
How do you feel about... Oh, excellent? Okay.
I loved it.
Yeah.
Roderick singing Baby is one of the best bits of the trilogy.
Yeah.
Roderick is my favorite part of the trilogy. Like,
yeah, I mean, that's...
Hands down.
He's
him
my favorite.
Crying at memory in the second movie, his line to Greg of the, you know, we're brothers, but we'll never be friends. Yeah. Like, he's got the highs and the lows.
Yeah.
You know, like, Roderick is a fucking great character.
He's so great, and Devin Bostic just plays him so amazingly.
He is just excellent.
When he, like, pretends to be drowning so Heather can save him, but then the bald man...
Yeah, and so we're fucking watching it, and like the music's getting really intense and spooky, and then the bald guy pulls him out of the pool. And first of all, when you do CPR, you have to hold the person's nose, don't you? Yeah. Is that correct?
Yeah, something like that, or like breathing over the nose. I don't know.
You don't put your fucking mouth over their nostrils, dude.
I don't know. Imagine he's getting all the snot.
Fucking hell, just. But
that's the
you meant to pinch the nose and breathe into the mouth, like hold the mouth and breathe into it. Dude just like literally kisses him 3 times.
We see his mouth inflate.
And every time they kiss, every time we touch again, every time they kiss, there's like this like horror music in the background while the two men kiss. And I just found that fucking hilarious.
One of my notes is the scary music when the two men kiss is a little coincidental.
No, it's not. It was on purpose. They were at the country club.
Yeah.
It's white people.
Yeah, no, I get it. That was funny though.
It was funny.
Like Roderick just like crying afterwards. He's like, oh my god.
Because he's just been sexually assaulted. And not by Heather Hills. So it's not funny when it's two men doing it.
No.
But if she had have sexually assaulted him, it would have been because he wanted that.
Yeah, it would have been like romantic music.
This movie is fucking weird, dude.
Really.
But yeah,
really
like
is.
Roderick singing Baby at Heather Hills. And the singer is like, I don't know how to play the drums. And he's like, just fucking loud and fast.
Fast and loud.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's your motto.
And then he played Baby. But then it turned into like a metal version of the song.
Like a metal, and that's when all hell breaks loose.
Oh, it was great.
Yeah.
Fucking Heather going for the swing, knocking the chocolate fountain all over them, like.
And then Rowley like gets a strawberry and like wipes the
it
chocolate
off her arm and then,
and then eats it.
That's someone's fetish, man.
That's 100% a fetish.
That's the writer's fetish. The writer's poorly disguised fetish.
Jeff Kinney's fetish.
Jeff Kinky.
No, I'm not saying that. He wrote children's books.
Jeff Kinky, dude.
I like that.
Yeah.
I found out in the trivia that they had to, like, when they had lunch breaks, especially during that scene, they were still covered in chocolate, so they had to have lunch whilst being covered in chocolate.
And I think that is a good place to leave it, unless you've got any final thoughts that you'd like to share.
There's like a couple of scenes when Steve Zahn's just going crazy, like when he gets the dog, just like, hello, doggy, and just like...
He's like, oh, God.
It just, like, made me laugh
Steve Zahn is a treasure.
He's an actual treasure.
I need more Steve Zahn and Devin Bostick content.
Yeah, me too. And when he's pulling out the cables, what does he call himself? He's like, I'm the laughiest laugher around.
Ha ha ha!
That gave me a good laugh the first time I saw it. Like,
Did it make you the laughiest laugher?
It made me the laughiest laugher who ever laughed.
It sounds weird in an Australian accent.
The laughiest laugher who ever... Say it in American.
The laughiest laugher who ever laughed. Ha ha ha! Like, and he does that fucking creepy laugh.
Yeah.
Laugh.
He's like...
Does that creepy laugh?
The laugh?
The creepy laugh.
The giggle? He's maniacal in that. And the scene when him and Greg are trying to get the
giggle.
No, imagine the pork roast, and then like they pick it up and it's got the dog slobber all over it, and then they eat it afterwards. And Roderick's like, I don't know what you did to this, but it tastes so fucking good.
Dude, that stressed me the fuck out.
It's so good.
Yeah, I did not like that one bit.
I enjoyed it. It was great. And they're just like, Greg, why aren't you eating it? And they're like, I'm good. Is there anything else you want to really add to this?
Not really.
No.
I think the only other thing, which you just like briefly said to me, like, no one ever sleeps in their own bed. So like throughout the entire trilogy, no one sleeps in their own bed.
No.
Fucking Greg's got a single bed in his room. Him and Rowley share it. They go up to Rowley's second home.
Yeah.
Because he's fucking white and rich. And they top and tail in Rowley's single bed.
Yeah.
When
his doggy's right next to his face.
Yeah, and Greg sleeps with the dog in his bed as well, in his single bed. When him and his dad leave from camping and go to like a motel, there are two beds, but they put all of their bags on one of the beds and they sleep in the same bed together. What?
Yeah.
Why does everyone just sleep in single beds together?
I don't know. I want a Greg and Roderick sleeping together scene.
And I think that's a good place to leave it.
Cut that out.
Okay. Thank you so much. This has been Diary of a Wimpy Kid Month. We hope you've enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Can't believe we did this.
I'm very happy.
I can't believe we actually had this much to say about these movies.
I was surprised too. I didn't think we'd get this much content out of Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
And weird part is, even after we finished recording the first one and the second one, and we were like, oh, we didn't even mention this. Like, maybe we'll do like a little short, like 10-minute one
of everything we forgot.
Yeah. But no, we hope you've enjoyed it. It's been a lot of fun to record.
I've really enjoyed it. So yeah, thanks for listening as always. Join us on the socials. So again, that is Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook. We have an X account.
Yep, we certainly do.
I almost said Twitter.
No, it's X, dude. But yeah, so this has been obviously the last of or as far as we've got planned so far for the year, our weekly content.
Yep.
So we'll be taking next week off and then coming back in the first week of March, first Sunday back. And from that point forward, we will be sticking to that fortnightly schedule. Yeah. And if anything changes, all the updates will be on our socials for that. So make sure you're around. You'll certainly know.
You'll definitely know.
Yes, you will. Sounds like a threat.
You're going to know.
You will certainly know.
Yeah. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Shall we end on a Zooey Mama?
Yeah, let's give one big final Zooey Mama.
One big hearty Zooey Mama.
Oh, you ready?
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Zooey Mama! Gotta put more emphasis to it.
All right, let's do it again.
No. Bye!